JJG, yeah, thank you for 63 months. Good luck with your monitoring. Pandora, thank you for 51 months. Good luck with your writing. Wamasi, thank you for those biddies. Very much appreciated. I am very hyped to get back to this. I've been having a ton of fun working on this old car game. Is good day. Good day. So, I got a little head start working on the debug stuff. Hey, Lindley, thank you for 43 months. I had shown you guys before that I had a separate scene that I was going to build a debug HUD on. And I actually have used that. I got rid of that text that I was writing there that was just to test. And I'm using a cool feature of Phaser, which is that because it's just running in a web page, it can do DOM stuff. So I'm creating some HTML here and then adding a DOM element, create from HTML, and then now, bang, I have a web page in my game, which for this kind of stuff, that's pretty good. It's a very, very fast way to throw together some form elements and stuff like that without having to like build them from scratch and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, super fucking dope. And it literally is, it's a normal accessible website as well. Like this is a div sitting on top of the canvas, so I can select the text, I can interact with the fields. It's actually loading the current values in there. It's just not, I haven't set up making them do anything yet. But I'm gonna. And then one cool thing as well with this is that with the CSS, I can change shit and it'll just reload it instantaneously. So I added a little rounded border there to my to my debug modal, and it just immediately popped up. So yeah. So what I want to do now, it's already populating them with the values that they are, but I want to make them actually function. So we can interact with the DOM here. So let's see if we can make shit happen for auto drive. So this will probably be basically the whole debug thing. Like everything I add, I'm going to add some HTML for it. This is basically one item. So I would just copy one of these. And then now I have another, which is nice. Easy peasy. Okay, now. How should I do this? I just kind of slapped this together and didn't really think through how I'm going to handle. I mean, this one's actually fairly easy, so. Whoops. Let's just do a quick test, make sure. Oh, on, why isn't it? It's an element. Am I trying to do a jQuery thing? I am. Hold on. I need to do event listener. Let me just refresh my memory. Right, just add event listener. No, I don't want to use jQuery. I don't have it on here, and I also would prefer to use all vanilla JavaScript as much as possible. I've been trying to decouple myself from jQuery as much as possible, but I still have old habits. But this does mean, like, paradigm-wise, I should probably really be using, like, I should have, like, selectors and stuff. Because I don't like it. It's a lot easier to do basically everything that you can do with jQuery. With JavaScript these days than it used to be. But I do have to remind myself very often, right? Go jQuery. That's not even, this is like old. Yeah, actually it is old, but it's fine. Oh yeah, I could just do one big old dang old. All right, well, let's just see. Listener. Okay. Pointer event. Nice. Perfect. I mean, I try to use it as little as possible at work as well. Like in the general case, I feel like jQuery is pretty redundant, is where I'm at with it. It adds a lot of just unnecessary page load and stuff. Okay, so now what do I want to do with this? Beautiful. So fantastic. Of course, I need to know which one I'm dealing with, though. Also, click isn't the only thing. I gotta think about what's the best way to do this. Do I want to do a selector bundle? Do I need to do a selector bundle? So for things like the draw distance in this situation, I probably want to have a button to, or do I want to, I guess I don't have to have a button. I could just change it and it could just literally go, right? But that's a different listener. That would be like on change or whatever. Is it on change? No. Just change. I don't know why I did on change. Okay, cool. Oh. So they're basically iterating over all of them and then adding a listener directly to each. Could do that. Man, shit's really going on there, JJ. Do they have any sort of idea, like, how long all these eruption and earthquake events are going to go on? Or what the cause is? Or is it just time or what? They both chilled out. Hawaii. Hawaii. I don't want to do a whole form. I just want to process these in a snappy way, you know? rather than having to do like a whole submit and then like processing the results that way. Like that just doesn't. I'm just trying to think of a better way than doing them each one by one, but I can. Maybe I should just do that, just simplify or get something going rather than sitting around going, what's the best way? What's the best way to do this? And then never do anything. So maybe I'll just go with this paradigm for now. Just quick and easy. Oh, but I'm a simpleton, and this one doesn't make sense. This one makes sense. No, wait, this does make sense. Never mind. Yep. That works. Let's pile up some other stuff that we would have and maybe would want to change. Road width, segment length, rumble length. These could be fun. Aha. Yeah, that's what I was trying to like think about doing, but tight. Doing this way does make this this have this terrible effect. Yeah, just do switch statements. That would be good. Null. Oh, I did not change everything. be honest, these absolutely could be generated rather than manually written out the way I'm doing. Type. Okay. And then nice. And now I have control. Beautiful. Easy peasy. Oh, it's still it auto turns. Yeah. That's funny. And I need the button to update itself as well. What's it? Text. Oh, duh. This probably still isn't right, but hey. I probably have to get the element actually. It's giving me the selector, not the actual object. I'll bet you. It just doesn't do anything. That's fine. Do I need targeted? I need .id. All right. Hmm. Well, that's very much working. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, debug auto drive. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I need to do... Thank you for pointing that out. That's what I needed. Probably. Haha, nope. Did it actually update? It must not be .text. Let me just look at this. Inner HTML. Text content. I'm so bad at remembering these things. I have to Google all the time. I usually try to avoid inner HTML unless I'm intentionally doing that because it wipes out everything inside. I wanted to update the actual text only. Hey. Hell yeah, baby. Look at that. Isn't that an easy way to throw an interface together? It's nice, right? And you can fully style this shit however you want. So you can make it look as good. You could probably use this for like all of your game HUD stuff. Yeah. Well, so I'm using a game engine. But a lot of it is vanilla. But I followed a guide. So it's technically it's running we have Phaser involved. And I've converted over what was vanilla HTML5 canvas graphics drawing somewhat over to Phaser stuff. And it is running in a canvas with WebGL. Well, so you have to think that stuff through, Food, because the way this works is Phaser can only have one DOM going. So you would have to like either build like, you show and hide stuff with CSS in the same DOM that you've already established, or you could have separate modals and you load them into Phaser's DOM thing, but it'll completely take over. You know what I'm saying? So I could load a different modal into the DOM. This one would go away, and then that one would show up. Not necessarily anything wrong with that. It's just a limitation that you have to think of before you start, trying to do wild shit. You can't have a bunch of DOMs. Okay. I just wanted to throw that out there because I used this for another project, and that was something I had to wrap my head around. Okay, so draw distance should be pretty easy. So this would be, we want to set the value, I think, I'm guessing. And then draw distance. And then what we want to do, I think we want to get the value the same way. So we'll let input element equal, we're not going to have the element. Oh no, we are going to have the element because I'm going to do this. And then put L. Input L. I probably don't even, I don't need to set the value in this case, actually. I don't think I need to set it back. Do I? Ha! Oh, oh, that rocks. Oh, it's lovely how easy that is. Jesus. That feels awesome. Good idea. Why not just do that? I could try it. Just didn't think of that. Works like a champ. Love to get rid of code. This is so cool. Negative draw distance. This would be debug road width, and this would be not. It would not be debug road width. It would just be road width. This would be segment length, and this would be rumble length. Now I don't think these are actually going to do anything. I'm not 100% sure, but they're based off of the like. I think it's mostly pre-gen where they just come into it. We can change the road width. Huge car. It actually is scaling the sprites down. Isn't that cool? It's big car mode, dude. Big car mode. That's so sick. What about micro machines mode, man? Oh, that rocks so hard. Yeah. So good. What about what was our default? 2000, I think. What about segment length? Whoa. It doesn't like big changes to that. because it makes a huge difference very quickly. Whoa. There's probably something that needs to be recalibrated when you make this change, I would bet. So this probably needs more of a function and not just changing this value. Yeah. It's misaligning the car from the road. And then this doesn't do anything, I think, because it's pre-gen. So it would require a recalculation of the road or rebuild, which is fine. I can do that. Okay. Cool, though. Cool shiz. Yeah. So the only thing that my emitter cares about is how much curve is happening. Even if you're not moving. That's so funny. Oh boy. Yeah, we can test this very easily. So if I do game scene dot reset road. Let's see if that. Yeah, there we go. Nice. And it's staying sane. Ah. Ah, interesting. Okay, so the lane markers are also based off of rumble length. That's kind of cool though, isn't it? So those light and dark divisions that we're seeing are actually all determined by rumble length and don't have anything to do with segment length. This really helps for getting my head back around some of these things that I sort of forgot about. I figure I probably understood this at some point, but then just forgot. Jeez. That shit's wild, JJ. Oh, weird. Oh. Everything looks smooth now. It's a weird look, huh? You lose some sense of speed because of that, it feels. Ha! Ha! It works with negatives. It doesn't care. Interesting. How about that? This is so cool, huh? Whoa. Goodness me. Oi. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Well, that has very strange effects. Everything feels super crammed together. Oh, wow. Now everything feels hugely far apart. It was a lot, yeah. It's because like the moment that the segments get behind the camera, they are they're no longer drawn, which means that there's a sort of drop off. And if we wanted to fix that, which we don't need to because we're not going to set the segment length that high, we would just do like behind the camera +1 or something, so it's another segment back before we call them. Well, I mean, they're not getting called early unless you do super stupid settings. If I want to do reset to defaults, I'd have to store them somehow, right? If I organized my settings better, I suppose I could copy them all into an array or something that I use to reset to defaults. But also a refresh gets you back to defaults as well. But a button for convenience would be nice. Let's add some other things. Why don't we, huh? Why don't we? Some other things would be nice to see. We could change the number of lanes. Camera height. That stuff also requires a recalculation for which we don't even have a function. Like anything that involves the camera height, we would want to recalculate. Inertia, yeah, that'd be a good one. Or centrifugal. This limitation probably isn't really necessary, honestly. Because we're not even going to have collision detection. So our max speed is currently 12,000. Spell breaking wrong? Yeah, I copied all these comments in. Where is it? Isn't it spelled right? Breaking? Now that you've made me stare at it, I have no idea. Oh, the variable? Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah, I did never look at that.
Well, we should put max speed in there. Certainly. Fog density as well. Let's get fog density and speed in real quick. Fuck. You know what I should... Well, these are nice for setting exact values. I was just thinking range sliders would be more pleasant. But it's okay. Max speed. Max speed. Max speed. Boy, oh boy, I need to automate this. Max speed. We're going max speed. And then fog density. Yeah, this shit is super handy. You guys were right to suggest prioritizing getting some debug stuff in here for fiddling with stuff on the fly. Right. Let's check those out now, shall we? Make sure those are good. I never added the thing. I added them to the UI, but I never added them down here. I realized suddenly. I didn't even have to see that nothing was happening. I just realized immediately, like, this ain't right. I forgot a thing. We don't need to reset road for these. Nice. Excellent. So what's cool about changing the max speed is it still has to walk its way up to it. It doesn't just instantly go faster. It has to still accelerate up to it. So it's nice and smooth when you make a change to it. I do wonder though what happens when you go down. That's instantaneous. Okay, because that clamps it. 1000 is not fast. I was thinking about spinouts. I was thinking that if I give you guys the ability to do things that influence the game somehow, maybe there's some sort of, you can influence the stats. Maybe you could like increase speed or decrease speed or whatever. But if you do it at the wrong time, going into turns and stuff, it causes you to spin out. Something like that. Yeah, that would be something I would investigate after we've developed much better car sprites. So that'll be after all the like 3D modeling stuff and everything. Yeah, I think I've realized that my quickie implementation of the car sprite, it doesn't respond to me like changing lanes. But in Slipstream, it uses, I think, something like 2 or 3. It uses like, no, sorry, it's more like 3, maybe 4 different sprites for just when you're switching lanes. When you're just holding left or right and you're not drifting, it will use like 3 or 4 frames to show that. And then if you're going high speed and you're eventually drifting, there's like another 3 or 4 frames for that. I need to actually learn about state machines because I have not really done that much. I already did. It doesn't require more investigation. I'm reporting the results of my investigation. There's no roll to the car. You could slightly rotate the body of the car. Nah, I don't know. Well, maybe that would be an interesting effect. And I like the idea of the car body being able to move independently of the tires like that. I mean, it already does, but like in an even more dramatic way. But I don't know if I feel like having a little bit of turn like this would be better. But it's definitely something that we could experiment with for sure. So that is working well. What else? What else was on my list here? This one, right? Centrifugal. Call it inertia. Uh, yeah. I was already kind of doing that in my mind, but I don't know for a fact whether it is or isn't. Control D. Too late, I guess. Does that let you? It does. I tried looking up that function in the past, and I simply did not know how to find it. I could not find it. Multi-caret editing. That helps to know. Thank you. Okay. The thing with this is, this should really be a float. Because, yeah. I don't remember. I never do this. Step. Right. Okay, cool. Yes, let's do step. I don't know, I guess max 1. That's still way too high, but it's fine. Whoops, didn't want that. Thousandths even? Maybe. Yeah, no, actually it does make sense to go to thousandths. I'm just realizing. Well, maybe not. Did I screw something up? No, I didn't. Yeah, we don't need to go to thousandths. That's too much, I think. I don't need that level of control. See, I think when it's bringing itself back to the center, if it just had the car sprite turning into it to go into the center, that would probably make that look better rather than just sort of gliding back to the center like that. Right, Sage? Being able to have these go so easily is so nice. It feels great every single time I add one. I just love the whole, like, how easy it is to throw this together and have a nice little interface and some controls without having to do a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right. They do. But this is a video game. Okay, let's see about some other stuff here. I think debug on can go away. If debug on. Yeah. Goodbye. And
So this we could port over. To our HUD. Do I want to even? Nah. If I really want to see any of these, I'll just add them at that time, I guess. Bye. Oh, I accidentally. I fat fingered it closed. It's gone. It's gone forever. Maybe. Yeah, maybe some submenus of like view, stats, or something like that. May Bay. The phaser dev actually says, "Hey, don't." When it comes to doing an FPS counter. Don't do it, he says. However, there's a better way. Oh, right. You have to have DevTools open, unfortunately. As soon as you close DevTools, it goes away. I don't know if there's a way of persisting it. Anyway, it's running 144. So that's nice, right? Huh. Interesting. When I use the DOM. Curious.
Okay, so that should be good for that. Field of view and camera height. Oh, right. It's fine. I botched that instantaneously. Oh, I see. Weird. There we go. This behaves so strangely. It's gonna take some getting used to. How did I manage this? I don't know what I did. I don't like what I did. It's all right. Oh, whoops. I copied the step. Hey, whoops. Whoopsie. Oopsie doops. Now, why did this go so wrong? What's wrong there? Did I miss something? Something wrong with my recalculation? Field of view. Camera height, camera depth. I'm calculating the camera depth. Oh, am I doing it? No, I'm doing it before I'm... Why doesn't that work? I could probably also, something that would make a lot of this less painful is remove the arbitrary 1 second of waiting. There we go. Okay. Well, it's setting it, but it's instantly breaking. So what's happening to my calculation? Let's do something real quick. Okay, so we're starting off with 100, 800, 0.83, and 871 point blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, there's a string. That's a string, y'all. Why is that a string? What have I done? What in the world? Why? Why is that suddenly happening here? Oh, it's probably happening to all of them, actually, isn't it? Easy fix. I think. Yeah, there we go. Phew. Okay, good. And even though things are working, and also camera height's a little slow to change because it's a bigger value, doing bigger things. Let's make it step 100. Fuck it. There we go. Do step 10 on the field of view. Neat. It didn't like that. I should put a min. I should definitely put a min in. Strangely, it's still running. It's just absolutely busted. Yeah, the so like the DOM didn't crash. Fucking popping a wheelie, baby. Well, these weren't floats, and I think it was JavaScript's lax typing that was like, well, you gave me a string that looks like a number, and you tried to use it in a numbery way. So, but then when we hit the height, we were passing that on to a whole other calculation, and the reason that it fucked up is because JavaScript couldn't decide if I meant to use it as a string or an int. So it was like string then. So what it was doing was like trying to be like, I don't know, however the calculation was supposed to go. It was like a string of 801 times these numbers, which doesn't make sense. So that's lax typing for you. All right. Well, we got some real shit happening here. Oh, because I did parse int. Yeah. Probably ain't work. Good catch. Yep. Don't work. I just stomped all over it without thinking. I think I could do what? Parse float, right? Doesn't need it, but for consistency. Regu, thank you for 98 months. Kakob, thank you for the gift sub. Very much appreciated. Yeah, this shit rocks. I'm so pleased with this. This makes me so happy. I've got to figure out the seed thing so I can have predictable randomness. One thing that is weird with this, the way that this was originally written, is how so many things have sort of unexpected knock-on effects, right? Like the road width is married to the scale of like the things along the side of the road. So I can't have like a very wide road without all of my sprites along the side of the road getting much bigger too. Like that kind of needs to be decoupled. No, the thing I'm referring to, food, is 100% caused by the fact that when I reset the road, the sprites are, they're being randomly placed, but it's not based off of a seed, so they're being randomly placed again. But if they were being randomly placed based off of a seed, then they would still always be randomly placed in the same places when I reset the road. Like that, I know how that works. Yeah, this is what happens when you fiddle with with settings. Oh yeah, I didn't add lanes. Where's lanes? There it is. I forgot about lanes. Rumble lanes. I'm not sure. Did I test rubble length without resetting the road? Probably. Well, I'll just test it real quick. Not sure it's necessary in that case. I did, and it is. Lanes is not a problem though. That squishes the width of our rumble down. Make the car small again. How did I do that? Which thing made it super small? I don't even know. I don't even remember. Big road width, probably. Yeah. Oh. Now we're driving through a parking lot, like towards a theme park. Weirdly, the sprites are doing strange stuff here, right? Why does the draw distance do that, huh? Why is that? Why? That I have no clue on. 1000 seems fine. 2000? 2000, fine. Oh my god! Holy shit! That's wild. Oh. Oh, I see. Yeah, you probably, yeah, I think you're right. Basically, too much road. I wonder if it was overdrawing itself. That's a possibility. Oh, yeah. No, I'm a simpleton. The draw distance is how many segments to draw. The length of our array is 3600. So we were looping back around. You want 2000 lanes? You got 2000 lanes. Oh boy, it doesn't like that. Whew. It ain't like that. It's sort of okay with 200. So technically our maximum draw distance is the length of the array. That's our problem here. Yeah, there's my textured road. Jeez, the draw distance is wild, isn't it? Doing that? It's so crazy seeing so many things so far into the distance like that. And given how light all this stuff is, it doesn't seem to particularly really give a shit if you do that. Oh yeah, my my cursor keys don't work in this right now because they're used for driving. They are busy. Yeah, Scarlet Hollow is a fucking trip, huh? Let's go 200,000 miles per hour. Actually, I think this would be 2,000 kilometers per hour, something like that. Nice and smooth. I still can't believe that there's no performance hit for drawing that many things off in the distance like that, you know? It's kind of wild. No, I decoupled the speed from the segment length. Because it seemed to be related to, it just seemed unnecessary. It was related to the way that the original guide was drawing stuff, which we're not doing. It does take a little hit. It does take a little hit when all those are shown. Like 10 frames. Interesting, to say the least. So without the draw distance turned up that high, I don't think we'll have any hit at all. Yeah. It's fine. That's funny. Yeah, that's a thing you can do. Oh. So this shit rocks. I'm very pleased with this. This is nice. Can fiddle with stuff, and I can add more things very easily. Acceleration and braking, yeah. I could tweak those, but those would also require recalc, but that's okay. So we can go faster. Oh, and I have to restore that. Don't have that. Don't need it. Okay. To be honest, actually, these needed to be recalced anyway when we changed the max speed. So rather than changing those, although I could raise those out to variables as well, the division amounts. Or yeah, just have flat values, something like that. Let's see what this seems like now if we change the max speed. Well, it certainly accelerated much faster. This is maybe a tad too much to even look at. It feels all right. So that's an improvement. That's another good one. We could have random ones because I like C's idea and I like yours, BFA, as well. Those are both good. You know, I don't want these to get lost. There is enhancement. Does it give you ones that aren't already used? Okay, yeah, it does. That's a good different one. If you guys want to, you can pop onto the repo. I think other people should be able to make issues. I don't know. I don't think I have to change anything. You could make a suggestion issue. That way it's in here, and then I can categorize it like if it's something that I want to do, or if it's something I don't want to do, or you know, like what milestone it should happen in. But do feel free to interact. I remembered it. I did remembered it. All right. Yeah, so this is cool shit. And obviously there's shitloads more we could definitely do with this, so. And I'll refactor this at some point to be less horrible. Like this would not be hard to do differently. It's a good point. It's a good point, well made. To be honest, it would be in the same milestone that we're currently in. Done. I don't know when to mark this as complete. I mean, technically I have, but they're not done. Also, I should probably do a little checkpoint here. There you go. Latest is in there. By the by, if you want to run this yourself, you can just go to code, download zip, and then you can literally just open index.html in your browser, like unzip it somewhere in a folder, open index.html, and blam. It will just run. You don't need a server. You don't need anything special to run this. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, if you guys try it out or anything, let me know. I'm very excited to hear about that. And if you ran into anything weird, I'm excited to hear about that. Just anything like that. I mean, now you'll have some controls to where you'll be able to turn off auto drive and take over now, which is kind of cool, right? That's kind of neat. Awesome. Yeah, that rocks. Yeah, if you find bugs or something like that, feel free to submit them. I mean, I would say at the moment, keep in mind that it's bug full, and I'm aware of a lot of stuff that needs improving. So don't necessarily make issues for a bunch of obvious stuff, but yeah, feel free to participate or whatever. And it's Creative Commons 0, so you can take it and do whatever you want with it. You can make it however you want. If you want to beat me at my own game, it's mostly not really mine anyway at the moment. Still mostly that guide. I don't know, but I mean, if it's on me to do it, I can do it. When I do new issue, it lets me set an assignee, and you can assign everything to me if it gives you that option. You set the label here. Do you have these controls on the side? I think you should have the same stuff that I do, I think. Another thing I want to explore is I've never messed with GitHub projects, but I don't quite really understand how it's different from like milestones. I guess these are more collaborative, like I don't know. They have no gear option. Oh, I don't know if I should show this. I don't want to accidentally show stuff, but let me see if there's. There must be settings for issues, right? Okay, so I have to manage the labels. That's fine. Sick. Cool, so I got it. Thank you, BFA. So I'll assign that to me. I will mark this as a suggestion. And no milestone for now until I figure out like when I'm going to add. That feels like probably once we get into polish phase. There you go. Boom. Appreciate it. Oh, really? I could define. That's cool. Well, as the title says, one of the other big things on my agenda is that I want to deal with this the sprite situation. I want to do not this. This. I want to investigate object pools. Oh, thank you, Nin. Bring that on over here. Or actually, I'll bring that on over here. I've just been leaving all this shit open. Interesting. So you just do them as MD files and then it'll populate it with the markdown, basically. Can I look at that config? You wouldn't put something public that had stuff that can't be looked at. Right. My experience with config.ymls is that they often have like sensitive stuff in them. Thank you. Oh, tight. Awesome, that rocks. Oh. So I could, but I can't have it set labels automatically with a template, can I? I mean, I have the documentation right in front of me. That would be sick if it had that feature. To automatically set the default title or apply labels. Yeah, that config has the current location of Elon's jet. It's updated in real time. What a fucking hilarious timeline we live in, huh? All right, so anyway, we're good enough for now. Thank you for the suggestion, BFA. It's cool. I appreciate it. All right. Basic object pools. Did I have that? Right. Okay. Right. So this is the big thing that I want to fix about what I'm currently doing. Okay, so in my case, this would be Atlas. I think. This load image, key crate, assets crate. So they're preloading. Right, they're doing it all in one scene. That doesn't really matter to me. This stuff would be good to have to make sure that once I do it, it's actually working right. Yeah. I don't know if that's exactly what I would want to do, though. I have to think about the use cases here. Because it's kind of a sprawling thing, right? Oh, wow. Fucking got him, dork. Um, because like right now we just have our test atlas, right? But what we're gonna have is biomes. And biomes are gonna have their own atlases. So do I really want to be pulling individual ones like that? I wonder if this can be nested. Probably wouldn't be a good idea. We use this group get on line 19. Pardon me. I do suddenly feel super fucking tired. I don't know why. Right. Right. Ooh, fuck. Stop yawning. Stop yawning, me. This is an interesting approach. So in my use case, I would be spawning them when they're the farthest out and despawning them when they're behind the camera. Oh, lordy. Sheesh. I do appreciate that this this code formatting theme is basically like my colors. Yeah, I would store the frame. That seems like it makes the most sense because which frames is going to be very specific to the biome, but the structure outside of that is going to be consistent. It's always going to be an atlas. The difference being the atlas name, because I would preload all of the atlases, so they're going to have unique keys per biome. This feels like I should probably do my code cleanup stuff before I take things to this level here. Maybe. C. Hell yeah, dork. Well, preload meaning, you know, like this. I mean, presumably you can do this later, but I don't think you want to do it during runtime. I think you want to have all of your assets loaded before you get to runtime, right? Each sheet would need its own probability distribution. Can you elaborate? I got a secret for you, dork. It is to me too. Whenever you see me look something up, it's the first time I've ever seen code like that. This brings me to another thing that I've been like kind of worrying about is the practicality of building the biomes. Because to have a track that's, you know, of a length worth having, I feel like it's going to be extremely tedious and time consuming to build those by hand. But the alternative would be having to build an editor. And I got to tell you, I don't even know where to begin with that. I mean, I understand, like, you just need to understand what your data structure is and then make something that generates that data structure. But what would even be a useful interface for this? The roads don't have to make any sort of logical sense. And I also don't know how to reinterpret them in such a way where I could like click and add things. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what the approach would be to something like this in an editor. Oh, well, so remember that like that's a separate problem. I'm not trying to make this procedurally generated. I think that's a fun mode, but that's not my intent. The reason that I'm just randomly placing things right now is because it's convenient for testing. But I would like the biomes to be bespoke, not randomly thrown together. I want it to have that feeling similar to other games like this where you're going through a created experience, you know, like with Outrun, you would have like where you'd get to a section where there's a median and there's palm trees down the median and there's an ocean on the right and it's intentional. And I think Slipstream is the same. I think it's very intentional. I think it's a better result that way. That said, I think it would be pretty cool to have like an infinite mode where it makes its own choices about where to place things and when to switch biomes and stuff like that. Sure. It's like kind of a big topic, isn't it? Yeah. And as far as an editor goes, the thing I can't wrap my head around is what the interface would even be. How could you visualize this in a different way? You know what I'm saying? If this were like a top-down game or something with just like a tiling world, like a tile map world or something like that, that's easy and makes sense to me. It's pretty easy to imagine how you would make an editor for that. But for this, I don't have this even the first idea. What if it's the same? I feel like this would be tough to use for editing, wouldn't it? Because you can't like really see far around. Like I can increase the camera height, I guess. And what, like click to place things or something? I don't know. I feel like the kind of ideal thing you would want to have would be a top-down view, but the problem is that this road doesn't have to follow any sort of logic. So if it loops back on itself, you're just in a world of hurt. Divine Wind. Thank you for that, Divine Wind. And the biddies. The segment length, I think, is just sort of a magic number. It's just 200. I don't think it translates to anything that I could call something else. It's not pixels. It's not meters. Yeah. So every segment is 200. Just 200. Hmm. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around that one, dude. I mean, I feel like I kind of get what you're trying to say, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Time-lapse view of things? No. Oh. I see. Just like one and then the next. One and then the next. I get you. Well, right, but I think I kind of, yeah. I kind of understand what you're driving at there. Yeah. So we just call a stack of what happens if I only gen one segment? Fucking not a lot, because segments are really rather small. I haven't tested it though, and it makes me laugh to think about it. So let's let's test it. I don't think it's gonna be happy about it, I'll say. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Reset road. Okay. I think the minimum I can do is like 5 or 10 even. Let me see what add road is doing. Enter, hold, leave. Where's add straight? So there you have it. It is. I didn't really think about it, but it makes sense that this is what's happening. I feel like you could decouple the, like, what an interesting thing that this highlights, right? The draw distance is still 500. And the road is looping. But it doesn't loop the drawing of it until it hits the draw distance, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it can't draw the same segment the way that it's currently written. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would end up moving the objects. Yeah, sure. Oh, I probably shouldn't go crazy with it. It's sensitive. That makes them longer. As you might expect of segment length. Oh. This caused it to fuck up. Or why? Exactly. Oh, I deleted it. By accident, probably. I didn't even realize I had done that. That would crash. Yeah, I should throw an OR in there. You right. Not a huge priority, I don't think. It's certainly interesting. Yeah, it's true. It is redundant to say the way it's currently written. Thank you, ZK. There is a limit to how high you really want to go with the roads without doing more enhancements. I actually had a test one. Let me see if I can. It's probably one that I commented out. Oh yeah, I blocked all this out actually. Because it was cursed. So this just keeps going higher and higher. I might have removed the ones where it goes beyond a certain point and turns bad. But I'll add them in and I can show you that. Like, you can't do this. I'm pretty sure you can't do this. Oh, it's not gonna. There we go. Sorry. Keep forgetting I have to double reload on Chrome over here. Yeah, yeah. It's weird, but I like that it's weird. I don't know. I think it's a cache thing. Live reloading is on, but every time it doesn't actually load the change until a second reload. So, but it's fine in the OBS one. I don't know why they're different cache settings maybe. I'd never bothered to look it up. I'm sure there's a reason that I could fix, but I just haven't. Okay, so things are gonna start getting weird, I think, when we have to go back downhill. It's gonna, oh yeah, we're getting too high. The bottom of the trees is now descending from heaven. And things starting to look a little weird. It actually wasn't that bad, but yeah, the view gets kind of fucked up. Like when you're going downhill at a hard angle like that, it starts to look like you're, I don't know, like you're starting to like look under the car. There we go. This will definitely fuck up in a big way. The attack of the trees. God is throwing trees at us. Why, God? Why? As long as we keep going up, it still looks okay other than the trees problem. Uh-oh. 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 And we're back. Yeah, so I would have to change something pretty significant to support big downhills. It would be cool to support big downhills because I think it's a cool view. But you know, again, it's to do with the way this works. And I don't want to not do the sort of retro style road gen, but there must be a way, because there's definitely retro pseudo 3D racing games that had nice downhills, right? Yeah, camera tilt math, something. I would love to have that. That would be sick. But without that, yeah, the position of the car sprite gets a little fucked up. And yeah, the the background tile position stuff needs to be clamped for sure. So it can't so that God can't attack us anymore. Yeah, but still eventually it would become trees again, and that would be that. I mean, it's a cool idea, but it still doesn't quite solve the problem. I like the idea of driving to space, though. I'm not sure what will happen if I make the texture larger, to be honest. I'm not sure if that's a fix. I think it would possibly make things worse. Maybe. Well, not necessarily. It's something to look into. I'll have to look into it. I think that that could be a solution, but I'd have to initialize the tile position. Is that right? That might be right. I'd have to start it so when you're at, well, I was going to say if you're at ground level, the texture sprite is as low as it can, or as high as it can go, I guess. The trouble is like, if we did add support for downhills and you wanted to start with a downhill, then you'd still have to clamp it regardless, because then your stars would come up from the bottom and we'd have the opposite. It would be Satan attacking us with stars. Yeah, that was something that crossed my mind too, was that like if I write a level and it includes values that exceed a certain amount, I could put like a warning on screen or something for myself that's just like, hey, you wrote a bad level, bud. It's going to break, bud. Yeah, but if it's too slow, then you lose the cool parallax effect. See, it's like there's all these trade-offs. There's all these trade-offs. Man, it seems like at best I'm able to get like productive stuff in for about 2 hours on stream, and then I like run out of steam somehow. This is just an ugly section of stuff. For now. Ugly for now. It's all right. It's true, yeah. It would be good for if we were doing like an infinite procedurally generated road for it to have bounds that it could check and make sure. But I mean, that would again would be sort of built into it. Whereas if it were if it was a handwritten road, I would want it to tell me. So it's a kind of a different case because I would want to fix the handwritten road. That would mean that I had tried to do something that I couldn't. Anyway. Well, I wanted to do the Sprite thing, but then I think it intimidated me a little bit, and I sort of like drifted away from it into just talking. Because I started thinking about the overarching problem here, you know what I mean? And then I started to just ruminate on that. But it wouldn't hurt to get like just a sort of baby version of this going. I'm just trying to think it seems like it's as easy as this to get started anyway. Oh my god, let's close this, please. Let's just try to get like a baby test version of this going here. What's my key? I don't think it's Atlas. It's Atlas. Okay. So this should be benign. Should be no ill effect here. Haha. It was not benign. Cannot read properties of undefined. Oh, I put this in my constructor. Okay. Now this here is technically still valid. And what are we currently doing? Render. So here we're doing blah, blah, blah. So we have, this is Atlas and this is the frame name. So those are both just keys. Yeah, I just got to keep taking steps. Okay, so we still do have to change a number of different things here for this to work. Like we can't just... Let's actually steal this stuff as well for debug. I have to recreate the format thing. Just doing a little bit of thievery. Actually, I don't know if I can. Yeah, well, I can. Maybe I can. I don't know if I can. Are you giving me that? Find out if I can. We're fine. Oh, and this has to become, what do I call it? Pool group. What if we didn't have this part? What am I doing wrong? Info text, set text. Hello? Oh, I forgot I still have. Hmm. Also, mm, I don't need that anymore. Don't need this anymore. Big giant circles. Jimmy, my man. He's the man. Oh, I think I know what's happening here. Maybe. Nope. I got rid of my text drawing thing, so I can't reference it either. It should be working. I'm really not clear on why it's not working. It's not being done wrong. Sometimes stuff like this happens and I just feel like a dang idiot. This add text. Duh. Where's my text? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What stupid thing am I missing here? What am I missing? Why is the text not showing up? No, const just doesn't matter. No. What we're looking at is this, which I can't see any reason why this is just normally how you create text. I just don't know why it's not there. Let me look at what I had for my debug and see, like, actually, you know what? I have a guess. I have a feeling. I'm gonna try doing this at the end. No. Well, set depth should really bring it to the front. So that's what's screwing me up here, is like, it's definitely creating it. And it should be there. Well, there it is. The camera zoom. The camera zoom in. That's why. That's why. It was where it was supposed to be. It was just like, yeah, there it is. Right. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, I clipped the viewport. Yep. Okay, so it's there. I'm gonna steal this whole cloth. I'm gonna have to change it. Get rid of the TypeScript stuff. But I want to test. I'm very curious. Polo group. You want to start a polo group? Ah, actually, so this could be anything from our array of frames, probably, I would guess. Like if I were to slap this in here. Oh my god, actually, I don't know what that would do. That doesn't make sense. Where am I using the other thing? Where am I doing it? I'm doing it in, Let's grab this. I could have left these all called crate, I guess, but it's fine. Oh, is this some... Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll just hope that that's fine to remove. Seems like it was a no null check, I guess. Right. Okay. Return item. Okay. I think I've mangled this sufficiently. And then it's just going to be a pointer click events. Right. It was spawned from Atlas, I think. Who knows what will happen? Okay. So it doesn't like frames. But it's sort of working. It's just not finding an image. It doesn't know what I'm asking it to do. I feel like this is going to give us the whole thing. It gives us the first thing. This is weird. This is so weird. Um... Hell yeah. Oh god, dude. Huh. Interesting. So what if I... And then I... Oh, that doesn't work. It needs Where's that? Frame, and then it needs an array. So I think. Dang it. Oh. What's happening up there? What's happening up there? Okay, so their spawning is visible. Okay, but I'm failing to call them correctly. But I think I have an idea as to what the problem is. Maybe. Remember when we had that? We were getting a tree. We still get a tree. Why? Why? Let's try palm tree. No. Oh, did I do both of these? Or did I do none of those? Oh, should these? These are booleans here. Why is it still not happy with me? I'm trying to like shortcut this and I'm clearly doing it wrong. And bit by bit, I'm bringing everything over. Tim, thank you for 107 months. Very much appreciated. That ain't it. I mean, he's using a physics group, but that shouldn't really matter. So he's using his atlas with a key. Check. Frame names in an array. Check. Frame quantity. Don't know if that matters. Random key true. Random frame true. Active and visible are false, but I understand that that's why they're showing up in the corner. I just don't care right now. Yeah. It gets the first inact, but they're all active. There we go. It's magic. Look at this magic. I get it now. And we have 7 of each. This is so bizarre. They're also spawning like in front of the road, but behind the roadside sprites. Oh, that was wild. It was like I put a car on the road. Did you see that? Vroom. It's like a dream opponent. We got some real shit happening here now. This person's been driving on this road so long now that they're having hallucinations of all this stuff they keep seeing over and over. This is our future. Yeah, advertisements that are like projected with lasers from space onto your retinas. And it's just what your vision looks like no matter what you're doing. We've determined the optimal amount of ads that we can show to a person's retinas while they're driving without them crashing. And this is what it looks like. I like how the car is in front of them and you can see them through the car's windows. I love weird effects, like weird unexpected effects when you don't really set up stuff properly. It's so good. All right, well, so it wasn't too bad to get this going. But I want to call specific frames out of the group. I don't think this is the function that I want. I don't want it pulling random ones out of the atlas. We're already, like, sometimes we want random, sometimes we don't. So I need to explicitly, because we're putting the actual frame name in the segment. So that's the frame that needs to be pulled out of the pool, not some random. Liquid, liquid, liquid. Redmond, liquid, 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 liquid. Redmond. I think that article said, well, no, it says really randomize the object. I wonder what I'm doing wrong there. Well, now that I've got the idea of like it can only pull things that are not active out, maybe palm tree. Will it accept a frame name? Well, that changed the order, or is that just because I refreshed? Is this seeded or something? Oh, it randomizes it once. That's what happens. And then never again. And by the way, it's like all cars now. And a tree stump. So it basically it has an internal list that is randomized when it's created. And then it pulls from that list in order. It doesn't pull from that list in random. Yes. Yeah, because it pulls the first thing in the list that's active. Okay? And there's a tween right here that ends up killing them, setting them inactive again. So they become available in the list again. So as long as I'm clicking, in fact, I think as those tweens end, the list starts over. Yeah. The list starts over before I can even click all the way through it. Because active things are becoming active in the list again, and then they become available to spawn. Okay, cool. So this is making sense. The only thing still is I don't know how to pull a specific frame. It's going into the atlas and it's making this list of stuff, but I want to pull a specific frame out. I don't want a random frame. Group.get function gets the first inactive object and sets its x and y coordinate, but it does not automatically make it active or visible. We must explicitly make it active and visible. In this scenario, group is using arcade physics, so all objects will have arcade body, which is enabled by default. If the group does not contain active object, it will try to create a new object. Just because default key and default frame is not provided, function will try to create an object with missing frame resulting in green square. Phaser group get frame. Get atlas frame. Hi, I can create a grop members from preloaded images, but when I try this with images from Atlas, desperation. Frame is the name of a sprite inside the atlas, not a PNG. Look at the megaset JSON to find the frame names. This dot platforms equals this physics add static group for what I did create and set frame. Set frame. It's creating a sprite. You know, maybe we were in the ballpark. Remember when I was doing it initially and I just put the atlas key in. Hold on. At last. At last. Okay, so the settings are overriding it at the moment. Cool. So we have both. We actually have both. If I don't set a frame, it's random. But I can set a frame. That rocks. Okay. Cool. All right. This feels good. This is a good first step in this direction. So now I just need to do this instead of when I'm clicking. I need that to be at the point at which we're trying to do the sprite. Instead of doing the sprite, we'll do this. And I mean, I have to account for other things. I have to make sure that we're setting them not active when they go behind the camera. Yeah. That'll be addressed in the render. This is just because it's a test. So that's no problem. I mean, I could fix that with this right now by just doing item set depth 3000 and then there you go. Now they're on top of everything. So cool, man. I love it. This is gonna be good. I'm excited to switch this up. But that's gonna have to wait. And tomorrow, I believe we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. I think it's gonna be another throwback. But I'm gonna keep it on the down low. But tentative hype. If that doesn't happen, I'll probably come back to this and do the rest of the sprite overhaul here, because now I'm very excited about this. But if it does happen, then I probably won't get back to this until Saturday, I guess. Yeah, Saturday, because there's the thing tomorrow, and then Friday we'll be doing, more than likely, I think we're gonna be doing more plate up, I think was the plan with the patrons, the bananas. So that's exciting. That was very fun last time. I'm hyped to do more. I'm really excited to see how far we can go with an army of restaurant workers. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you for all the help. I really appreciate it. It's been very cool collaborating with you guys. I think that's making this so much more enjoyable for me. It was certainly like, it's one of those things where initially I had trouble doing this because I felt self-conscious about my code, like I've talked about. And then there's also that thing I explained about how sometimes it feels like when you're working on something on stream, it's hard to do because it kind of feels similar to like when someone's standing over your shoulder while you're trying to work. You know what I mean? But I feel like I'm over that now. This is feeling good, and we've been making little bits of progress every time, which feels very good. So yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And I will see y'all next stream. Have a absolutely lovely evening.